Well, here we go again.
Here we are again. Let's see if this is actually happening. Maybe welcome to the Geeks Attic
We'll see.
or
It's
paper movie.
It's the Geeks Attic.
All right.
Here we go.
Nice. Got it right the second time. See? Got to kick things off
Lighting
rough for the first stream of 2023. I think this is the
Yeah,
first
I
live
think it
stream
is.
of the year. Man, it's been a long time since we've done one of these.
The boys are back in town. Yeah,
I know.
I'm more
I know. It's like
sober than usual.
I get this new software that doesn't have a logo up at the top, and then I stopped live streaming. So we'll see what happens. See if people join us, and maybe this comment box over here works. I don't know.
Who knows?
See, it might see if it shows an example. There's an example. See, that's what it would look like.
Yeah.
So what have you guys been doing? What have you guys been reading? What are you going to be reviewing?
Oh, let me tell you what. I just finished reading it, Les Schwab. I read the John Wick comic that Greg Pak wrote for, I think it was a tie-in to John Wick Chapter 2. It got I remember it got horribly delayed. So one issue came out, and it was like a year later. The rest of them, like 2 through 4, came out, and then there was another delay. And like I didn't care because it wasn't that good when I initially read it. But there was a 5th issue, and then it got canceled. But it's called John Wick Volume 1. It's sort of his origin story, but like it blatantly contradicts John Wick Chapter 3. It's a typical Greg Pak comic. If you like Greg Pak, then you'll probably like it. I hated it because I don't like Greg Pak's writing style. I just find it boring. It's not the worst thing I've read. It's not Becky Cloonan's Punisher, for instance, where they nerfed Punisher. But anyway, I'll step aside.
They nerfed?
Oh, they can I swear on here?
I'd rather not.
Okay. they just like it's the beginning of the end for Punisher as a character. Becky Cloonan's run.
Okay.
I have read around 10 Marvel books. A lot of audiobooks. Yeah, I'm currently listening to the audiobook for a single cut on paper movies, Superman Returns, which is surprisingly not bad so far.
That's a miracle. That book's unnecessarily long for what it is.
And the audiobook's actually, very engaging, which more engaging than the movie. But also, I'm as far as Star Wars goes, I started reading Deceived. And
okay.
I just finished the Crystal Star.
How'd you like it?
Well, let's just say here's my review for it right here.
Oh, all right.
There we go.
I mean, that's like my whole review for it, like plot summary and everything. But I'm just like,
does it have an intermission?
Huh?
Do you have an intermission for that review?
Like the Sound of Music.
Hey, the book didn't have an intermission. Neither will this review.
Good. I'm looking forward to that because it's always a fun, silly book to talk about and to see other people's reaction to it.
For me, it's like we joked about the Crystal Star for years, but I was the only one that hasn't actually read it. And I was just like, I kind of want to be, it's kind of like, it's like when everybody like tells stories about how they're like, I don't know, like they're like in the fire department or something like that. And there's like this one person that's just like, oh yeah, like I knew a guy that was in the fire department once and everything, just trying to be part of it. It's like, I'm going to actually read it just so that way I can actually be part of the cool kids club.
Right, like the scene in Jaws when they're all like talking about their scars, like showing their scars off. It's like,
oh yeah.
It's like, yeah, I read it too.
I don't mind it.
You don't mind it?
I honestly, I don't think it's the worst Bantam book. It's definitely not the worst Star Wars book. I mean, we've lived through Disney Star Wars. We're living through Disney Star Wars. There's a lot worse books than the Crystal Star. Do I think it's great?
Excuse me. Yeah, sorry.
but I don't. It's bizarre. It's one of the weirdest Star Wars books I've ever read.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, Planet of Twilight, I think, is far more offensive to my brain than the Crystal Star. Well, all those Callista books are far more offensive to my brain than Crystal Star, because there's
Yeah.
at least there's not a trilogy of Crystal Star.
With how long the chapters were, it felt like a trilogy.
I mean, Stealth and Siege. I'm sorry, Gambit and Stealth, or whatever it keeps being called.
Stealth and Siege.
The Gambit duology, that feels like a 12-book series.
It does. Like it feels like a 12-episode novelization of the Clone Wars that never like takes a commercial break. It doesn't stop. It just continues, and it's like it drives me crazy with the constant bickering between Anakin and Kenobi. Like because it's nonstop.
And it's not their characters.
Right.
That's my frustration. Well, Karen Miller didn't care about continuity or anything. She treated it like fanfic, and she blatantly said it, which is why I have zero respect for any of her books. And if it were up to me, I would not consider them canon, because I don't consider most of TCW canon. I would maybe put No Prisoners in canon, because there's so many ties. There's Pellion's in it. Callista's
by canon,
in
you
it.
mean like the EU Legends canon.
Legends
right,
canon.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it's definitely not new canon.
No.
They've made that abundantly clear, even though it's a TCW tie-in. The TCW movie novelization isn't even canon.
I don't know, isn't that weird?
Well, it references way too much EU to be canon. But then again, they don't consider the prequel novelizations or the original trilogy novelizations canon.
No, it's just weird to me.
Yeah, I will say this, though. When I first started reading it, Jeremy, you did say something that I do agree with. You said with the Crystal Star, overall, it's a weird book, but there is good parts in it, and I will actually give you that. There is.
Yeah.
I won't get into really. I mean, I kind of mentioned it briefly in the review, but it's there was. Yeah, I was just gonna.
Save it for the review.
Yeah.
I honestly, I consider, if we're talking just straight Legends books, the worst one. Well, I can't pick one, but the Gambit duology, I consider the absolute bottom of the barrel for Legends novels. I consider them the absolute worst. I found it to be the most offensive reading, and this is coming from, I've read most of what Karen Travis has written, and that woman's characterization of characters just irritates the ever-living crap out of me. But like, at least Karen Travis cared about continuity, kind of. Well, she cared enough that she would go the extra mile to do a retcon here and there herself to make her stuff make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Boba Fett, A Practical Man, to explain why Boba Fett's the true hero of the Yuzhan Vong War, so that Legacy of the Force, her storyline, makes sense. Because I don't know if you guys knew, but there was a Tales short comic that Han runs into Boba Fett near the beginning of the Yuzhan Vong War, and the Mandalorians are teamed up with the Vong. And then nothing came of it until the Unifying Force, where they sort of, Boba Fett finally shows up and ends up, as I recall, he joins the Alliance.
The last Star Wars comic that I read, which won't be the last, but the last one I've read, because I want to collect some of the Epic collections, was where Luke Skywalker has to face the dragon snake on Dagobah.
Oh yeah, in Adventures.
Yeah, that one made me laugh, just because I like that most of that comic was Yoda just messing with Luke.
Yeah.
He's just like, he sends him to get the egg of a dragon snake. He's just like, did you just send me to get the egg of the dragon snake because I was getting on your nerves? He's like, He's like, mysterious the Force is.
It's fun.
Wow.
I was shocked that they allowed that to be written when that came out. Because the Adventures, they were a pseudo-sequel series to Clone Wars Adventures, which were spin-offs from the Gigi Tartakovsky Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Which were they were a little formatted a little differently, where they were digest sized like the Adventures were, but they were different short stories. And like it added characters like Quinlan Voss shows up in a story. Like it was adding characters that weren't in Gigi Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, kind of putting them in, and they happened all over. I mean, I think Delta Force is in from Republic Commandos in one of them. Like it was they were fun. And the Adventures, I remember when those were coming out, and I was like, okay, we're gonna get some episode 4 stuff, maybe some Rebellion era stuff. But when that Luke one came out with Yoda, I was shocked. There really isn't much of his training on Dagobah. We know it's 3 months he's there.
Yeah, I do remember saying that he was there for months.
Mm-hmm.
Which it doesn't feel like that in the movie, but
no, that movie's paced very quickly.
So I might need to get into the comics then, huh?
Maybe, yeah, I would recommend it.
I should knock some more books out though first, because I mean, Noah's been saying it from Quality Autism. Jeremy, I think you've even said it. Like, why are you going back to read in chronological order? Like when I stopped in the New Republic era, I shouldn't have done that. I should have kept going, but I am taking a break. I was going to read 000, right? And that this first Hard Contact. Hard Contact.
One.
Yeah, I was going to read that. I opened it up and then I said, no, actually, I'm going to go back and I'm going to get a refresher on those New Republic books that I read a long time ago that I never reviewed. And then I'm going to revisit those and then I'm going to review those. Probably like finish off the New Republic era before I go back to the Clone Wars again.
Okay.
Because it's just, there's only so much Clone Wars that I can take before it's like, okay, I need to branch out and do something different.
You might want to check out the New Republic era comics.
Yeah, I think I have quite a bit of them in a box somewhere.
Yeah.
They have epic collections at Barnes & Noble, I remember.
I mean, the omnibus is still in print. The first one. And the second one comes out in September.
I might just do them digitally if I do them, though.
I just don't trust digital anymore.
Yeah, because they could change anything. I have one more comment to make about the Gambit duology.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I know you watch Red Letter Media stuff, and I remember them talking about like Star Trek, the new stuff, and the reason they like one of the reasons, there's many, that they didn't like it is because everybody's always bickering at each other. Like that came to mind when I was reading this, with everybody just constantly like butting heads. Like Anakin they just deal with each other all the time. They don't even like each other. It's like, this isn't the brotherhood that I saw in the films. You know?
Yeah, no. And it's not the brotherhood that's shown in the Dark Horse comics.
Yeah.
But that's how they act towards each other in TCW. Another reason I don't like TCW. It's just they aren't master and apprentice anymore. They're almost equals.
Yeah.
I
think that's what it mentions in Stealth, I think. Isn't that right? Where he actually he's raised to knighthood and now they're equals.
Yeah, and he's a general now because he isn't in the Republic comics. He's not a general for most, if not all of it. I think that was a TCW change. He was commander. Which I guess they did that in TCW to make him a general because, he has Ahsoka as apprentice. And also, Luke never made it past commander in the Rebel fleet. I don't know. Matthew, you've read Truce of Bakura, right?
Yes, a long time ago.
He's given a command. Admiral Akbar gives him special privileges to have his own flagship.
This is why I'm going back to revisit these stories, just so I could get a refresh on it again.
Oh, well, I'll just sum it up. It's in the beginning because Luke's still horribly injured from the Emperor electrocuting him, like it fried his bones, which I think is like
Jeez.
the greatest detail. And Luke doesn't want to go into Bacta again because he hated it on Hoth. So he's just been doing these healing meditations, but because of that, he can't fly. He can't fly an X-wing, and so Admiral Akbar and Mon Mothma send him and Leia, Han, and Chewie to Bakura because Bakura wants to defect, as I recall, from the Empire to the New Republic, basically. But they're being attacked by the Sissy Rook, which are they're the
Dinosaurs,
weird
right?
dinosaur people that they smell with tongues out their noses. And they take people's souls. They call it entechment. They suck the soul out of people and they put them in like machines.
Weren't there something with bubbles in this book?
Think there were, but they keep a human slave who's force sensitive to find new worlds, and then they really want Luke because Luke's strong in the Force,
right?
And like,
we got old friends joining us in the comments.
Yeah, we got Alex says Disney Star Wars books keep on showing me how low of quality Star Wars can be.
That's Disney touching anything. Like
that's why
the
I
Marvel
got out of it.
Stuff is so bad now. Oh my god.
Like I think I got into it on a little video another time. Might have been like either an update or a short where I was talking about it. Where no, it was on Tuscan Reader. I think is where I brought it up. The author that wrote this new Survivor book that's connected to the video game coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The one that
Stars, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the one that assigned Luke Skywalker to be on the the gender scale, whatever you call it, the sexual stuff that they keep trying to mess with. And so that's part of the reason why I'm out, is like, just stop doing that all the time.
Yeah, who's on that list? Lando's on that list, and Obi-Wan is on that list, and Tarkin.
Yeah, Tarkin. Now Luke. I mean, I don't know if that's official stuff. It's just kind of mentioned. Of course, I remember Del Rey said that those From a Certain Point of View books were not actual canon either.
Well, they're nonsense books.
They are.
There's occasion. Don't get me wrong. There's an occasional good story. I only read the first one. I shouldn't comment on Empire Strikes Back. I never touched the book that they called Gaze in Space.
I got halfway through that one. I have like a bunch of reviews. I reviewed each story, but I never finished recording all of those for the second book. I have like 12 of them, I think, that I wrote that I just never filmed. So I don't know if I should film those eventually and release them before the Certain Point of View Jedi comes out, or just never touch them.
I wouldn't.
It's like content's already made, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to touch new canon anymore. Not the shows, no movies. I watched a little video with Mark Hamill today. Like, people like put this little compilation together of him talking about the character. He was not happy.
No,
he was not happy.
He had a rough time making Last Jedi.
Yeah.
He was miserable. I don't blame him. Rian Johnson seems like an absolute doofus of a human. Like, he thinks he's the funniest person, and he is not funny.
Yeah, we talked about this on another thing. Well, I won't. Never mind. I'm not going to get into it. It's something on Paper Movies that we kind of mentioned Star Wars tied in with our next conversation. Go check that out. It's coming out next week, I believe.
Yeah.
So go check that out. We're talking about Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So, yeah. I think, the next month, April, is where this conversation kind of takes place.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
So
we're trying a new thing, everyone, where we're pre-recording for this season.
Yeah. And plus, you got Indiana Jones film Destiny of the Dial,
Diarrhea of Destiny.
Diarrhea of Destiny.
I will be honest, though, that when I saw we went to go see a movie and they had that preview. The preview looked a lot better in the theaters. I'm not sure if it's just theater quality, but I'm gonna be optimistic about it, but yeah, like the theater, the preview itself looked a lot better in theater, so I'm not. May just be movie theater magic. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Little small time Republic. Hello there.
Oh, can we talk about what I was talking about before we recorded?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
The
I
destruction
don't know much
of
about this stuff, but
the Punisher.
Oh yeah,
It breaks my heart, and I know this is old news now, but Jason Aaron, sorry for that loud noise. Pixie's decided that it's a good time to sharpen her toenails on the scratching pad, and she's found her ball. So we're gonna have a bunch of crashing and thudding.
that's his cat.
Yeah, that's one of my cats. They're both out here with me. But anyway, oh god. So Jason Aaron, I think, is a garbage comic book author, and I think it's finally becoming a thing where everyone agrees with me. I can't believe I've been a fucking sorry. I just I've been a contrarian. But I've been labeled a contrarian for so long for not liking the all new, all diverse Marvel line that happened in the 2010s. I stand by saying the 2010s are just the worst decade for any media. It's just a complete crap show. It's just awful. Awful. People crying about things. Can't do this. You can't do that. I'm offended. So it was a matter of time before the Punisher, the dude that just murders criminals, you know, got that treatment. So they changed the Punisher logo.
what
They
is that?
changed the Punisher
I'm
logo.
curious, actually.
I mean, I want to know what it looks like too.
I'm gonna look it
It
up.
looks dumb. So Punisher's now the head of the hand.
He's the head of the hand.
A villain, and I don't like it. And the reason they did it
Ew,
they tried to the Punisher's creator, I guess, tried to reclaim the Punisher logo because police and military use it.
This can't be right.
Yes,
I'm about to bring it up on the screen.
I was like,
so dumb looking.
It kind of looks like the Mandalorian logo.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, here we go. Maybe.
But it's
share the screen. It's coming up here in just 1 second. I've got to find the button. There, that thing.
Yes. They took Punisher's guns away. They gave him swords. It just looks
that is hideous.
dumb. It looks dumb.
That looks, yeah, that's awful.
And he's straight up not a hero anymore. They're just straight up making him a villain.
Yeah, here's the comic picture. Bringing it up.
I hate it. I hate it.
I don't remember the Punisher ever being, a
ninja.
Yeah, I was like, he was a Marine. I know that, but
he was a Marine. If you were in the Ultimates universe, he was a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
$5. Hello there.
Hey, you just bought an expensive book. There you go.
It just drives me nuts because we've gone from the complete reverse of Garth Ennis. My favorite of his story. One of my favorite storylines he did was for the Max label, which was just the really ultra violent, ultra sexual Marvel label. It's infamous for the anal scene between Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. That was a thing. That's like their whole relationship stems from Alias Max. But Garth Ennis was just allowed to do whatever, and he wrote one storyline called Up is Down, Black is White, and these gangsters, I think they're part of one of the Italian mobs that Punisher's killed most of them. Well, they want to retaliate, and they send him a videotape of them digging up his family's bones and urinating on them.
Ooh.
And Punisher, this mind you, Punisher Max took place in the early 2000s. Punisher was still a Vietnam vet, so he's old. And he is crazy. And so he just starts walking around with an M60, just murdering gangsters, like leaving one alive. He goes into like nightclubs and stuff that they own and just murders them. Till they give up the guy who did it.
Wow.
Another good one is The Slavers, which is dealing with the Russian mob and human trafficking and selling women into prostitution, and it's gnarly. Like a dude, Punisher's like, I have to treat these people differently, and he goes to the public library and he looks up all these books in anatomy, and he ends up interrogating the guy by pulling his intestines out and putting him in a tree.
Jeez, this is all in a comic book?
That was Marvel Max. Max, it comes back every once in a while, mainly when Garth Ennis wants to write more Punisher. Like they just...
is this one of those that has like a 17 plus age limit on it?
Yeah. It's got a parental advisory sticker on them. Did that stop me as a teenager from reading them? No. My parents would buy me whatever when it came to reading because they were just happy I would read. They were gnarly. They were like the kind of books that you like when my younger sister would walk by, I just like put a pillow over it. But like we've gone from that to Punisher can't carry guns. Punisher can't do anything.
He has swords though. Is he going to use them? Is he going to be like the Ninja Turtles 2 where they have weapons but they don't use them?
I hate that movie. Hot take. I think Secret of the Ooze is as bad as Turtles in Time.
Really?
Yes, because the first movie is so... I just rewatched the first movie like a month ago. And that movie is probably one of the best comic book movies ever. In an age where we've seen just about every superhero get a movie. Like we live in the golden age of freaking... Shang-Chi got a movie.
That was actually pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it's the best of that phase. I will agree.
Hey, I gotta say though about Turtles 2 is it has a good line. It has a couple of good lines in it. Like, hey, they say like, "What's the haps?" And then there's man, it's a little too quiet in here. And another turtle's like, yeah, a little too quiet. And then someone's like, look, there's Raph. And like, yeah, a little too Raph. It's fantastic.
It's so dumbed down. It's because parents got upset. It's Raph yelled, damn.
Would you rather reread the Crystal Star or book 1 of the Aftermath trilogy?
Crystal Star.
I haven't read the Aftermath trilogy.
Like a human being writes things. Not how Chuck Wendick writes things.
Yeah.
I haven't read any
we had old Chucky on the channel before, remember?
Oh.
I like to not remember.
TMNT was it?
I agree. I mean, Vanilla Ice is in it, doing his the ninja rap. Then they had the creatures that weren't Bebop and Rocksteady.
Oh, right. Toka and Razor. Yeah.
Yeah, and I always thought that was weird. And then the Michael Bay movies came out, and they had Bebop and Rocksteady. I'm like, oh, that's why they never put them in a movie.
I remember me and Matthew were talking about where they time travel, and as lame as that movie is, Donatello has some of the best lines in that movie.
It did. There were a lot of really funny things said in that film. I think I wrote down a bunch of them somewhere. We were supposed to talk about the lines.
Well, there was one where the villain, like, he pulls out that flint gun, like, that only shoots like one little small ball and everything. Pistol. And then the flintlock pistol, like, he pulls it off, and like they're like, "Oh no, it's a gun," and Donatello's like, "Oh, there goes the neighborhood," you know.
Did you guys
some
ever
good
see
stuff.
that the CG Ninja Turtles movie, the TMNT?
Yeah, I had
Mhm.
the novelization over there.
They had it
I
on
thought that
Netflix.
was pretty good.
I liked it.
I liked it too. Well, that came out like near the end of that '03 Ninja Turtles cartoon, which was my jam. That was my Ninja Turtles. I was way too young for the first wave of it.
You actually just reminded me. In a few months, Nolan North, who voiced Deadpool, he voiced Raph in that movie. He's going to be coming to a Comic-Con here in Oklahoma City. I was like, "Ooh, I should give him to sign my novelization of that. That'd be awesome."
Be dope. Be dope.
I was going to ask you earlier when we were talking about the Punisher. Have you yet to get the novelization of that?
No, I need to do that.
I looked online. It's still selling for like $5.
Yeah, I need to snag that up. Might as well. That's my favorite Punisher movie.
Yeah, go ninja, go ninja.
Have you guys seen any of the Punisher movies?
I've seen
Nope.
all of them.
Okay.
Even the Dolph Lundgren one. I own them.
I've seen
actually.
nothing.
All right. I want to get into the Dolph Lundgren one because I think it's pretty dope. Dolph Lundgren. I didn't realize he was blonde. I thought that they bleached. I saw the Punisher before I saw Rocky IV. And I'm like, did he bleach his hair to be Ivan Drago? It's like, no, he dyed his hair, which is a thing up until Warzone because Thomas Jane's blonde. And they dyed his hair
That's
black.
It's kind of the same similar concept with Elvis. He was blonde originally.
True, fair enough. But yeah, I like the Dolph Lundgren one. Wish he was wearing the skull, but I get that they didn't want to wear it because that was when Punisher wore the spandex suit still and the white gloves.
Oh yeah.
But that movie's so ridiculous that it wouldn't be out of place to do that. So there's no skull. Then the Thomas Jane one, the 04 one with John Travolta, the theatrical version I don't think is that good, but they did an unrated director's cut where they add in a whole thing with his partner betrayed him.
John Travolta?
Yeah, John Travolta's the villain.
Oh.
Howard
I didn't know
Saint.
that either.
Yep.
Oh, Gabby's home. My fiance's home. But yeah, I thought that's my favorite one. That's the one that really takes from Garth Ennis's Marvel Knights Punisher run. The run where he punches a polar bear in the face. It's just pretty amusing.
You mentioned earlier. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go on.
Well, you mentioned earlier that like your parents let you read whatever you want. Like I remember after the movie, the Thomas Jane Punisher video game came out, and the PS2 one.
Yeah, I love that one game.
Yeah, I bought it recently, and I remember like playing it. Like my dad, like I was like playing it. My dad like walked into the room for something. And it's like that where some of those interrogations you could choose either to actually full on like kill them or not. Like there was one where it's just like holding one over the water and a shark kept popping out of it. And I was like, let's feed the fishy, And my dad was like, what the heck?
There's like one where you can throw the Punisher's face into a bandsaw. Do you want to come on and say hi?
Oh, is this a reveal?
This is a reveal of my fiance.
Ew, don't kiss me.
Oh my god, I'm so icky. Hi, babe.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome to the Nerdy Talk.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, no. I love that game. Is the movie that we all needed. I mean, like Iron Man and Black Widow are in it.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of ties into the MCU before the MCU was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you could shove someone's face into a bandsaw.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty great.
That's cool.
Punisher video game. But Warzone, that's where the nonsense begins. That movie, easily the most disgusting movie that has ever been made.
Well, he proved that you could physically punch someone literally right through the face.
Yes. Or when he Punisher gets his nose broken and he takes the 2 pencils and he sticks them up his nose and sets his nose. Or he throws
boy.
Jigsaw into a glass breaking machine and the dude lives.
Wow. Well, what you were saying about the video game reminded me of Red Dead Redemption 2, which I beat last year when I took a break from YouTube. I was like, I'm going to play games. And yeah, I would do things that I regret, like hog tie people and then just go over to a cliff, drop them off, or hog tie them and then drop them in a puddle of water, like a shallow puddle of water.
I forgot you could do that in that game.
Yeah, and you could also like shoot them, kill them, like, and then throw them in the pig pen, and the pigs will eat them.
And after that, what did you do in the game?
Run off and do a good deed so it erases the bad deed.
Have you ever played like an open world game and you just kill all the NPCs?
No.
And the game just starts to fall apart because there isn't anyone to interact with?
You kill them all and then like save. So then the game's just kind of like, what do we do?
I used to do that in New Vegas because I have the Ultimate Edition, and if you have all the DLC in the Ultimate Edition, it loads it all out. So you have like an arsenal to begin with. It's just like, it makes the game really easy for like the first 10 levels. But like you could, at that point, you could just kill everyone. It's wonderful. But the game starts to bug out.
There was an Incredible Hulk game I played a long time ago on PS2 where one of the moves is you can sprint as hard as fast you can and punt something. I used to go out to this desert area and I would run. Sprint. Bye, Gabby.
Bye.
Bye. I'm putting on PJs.
Well,
she had a long day at the office today.
Well, in the Incredible Hulk game, there's like a move where you can sprint, and then like when you come up soon, you can just punt it. I would just go out to the desert, and I would just sprint as fast as I can, and just start punting random cows.
That's good. Did you guys ever play Star Wars Bounty Hunter for the PS2 or at GameCube? You can light people on fire in that game.
Really?
You can light civilians on fire and droids. It's wonderful.
Okay, so who are you? Are you like Boba Fett or something?
You're Jango Fett.
Jango Fett.
It's how he becomes the template for the clone army. Takes on Kamari Vosa from, well, you read Maul Lockdown, right?
Yep.
Kamari Vosa is the leader of the Bando Gore. It's about who hunts her down. It's Jango. Because she's a pain in the butt, and Sidious is like, Dooku, you have to get rid of her. It also explains where Ventress gets her lightsabers, because they were Kamari Vosa's.
Just for who that is.
Jedi paddles.
I think Adam is glitching right now.
He is glitching. He's glitching hard.
Let me hide him and then bring him back. Maybe see if that does anything.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We lost one. Mad Chat says Prototype was a fun open world game and can slaughter NPCs immediately. Yeah.
Sometimes if you go out of your way to kill every NPC in an RPG, the game just they stop working. And things start getting buggy.
Yeah, I've never tried that. But for Star Wars games, the only ones I ever really played were Rogue Squadron, Shadows of the Empire, and then the 2 Jedi Outcast games.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I have.
And then, of course,
they were on original Xbox, and you were an Xbox guy.
Well, no, I had those on
PC.
Computer when they came out.
Oh, okay.
So it was a long time ago when I played. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Fallen Order was the newest and last Star Wars game that I've played, and probably the last one that I will play.
The rolling simulator?
Yeah. I enjoyed
Battlefront. We were both playing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Battlefront. Not together.
Yeah, that was
fun. You had Xbox, and I had PlayStation, but...
Yeah. He's back.
I ranked up to 100 in EA Battlefront, and as soon as I got the trophy, I was like, I wish I hadn't done this.
It wouldn't be a stream without me glitching.
Of course,
Right?
Well,
yes, GTA 3.
what I was going to ask, though, before internet so rudely interrupted me, have you guys ever played Jedi Power Battles?
Yes, it's awful.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, like, you could actually potentially change the course of the story just by killing Anakin.
Yeah, you can.
Wow.
Like, one of the missions is you're supposed to escort him through the desert, and it's like anytime you can just go up and just start lightsabering him.
Magneto
I mean,
Alex too. Sorry, go ahead.
Let me do that.
We're losing Adam again.
We are.
Well, Magneto Alex 2 recently finished Dragon
right
Age
back.
and Origins. Okay. And I'm now going through Dragon Age 2. I've never played Dragon Age. The gameplay is repetitive, but I actually love the overall story so far. It's good. Does Dragon Age have awesome music, like medieval sounding music that would be fun to listen to? Fine additions. Hello there, General Kenobi. Mad Machad, Fallen Order is the Star Wars equivalent of Dark Souls, and I love E. Mad Machad loves E, everybody. It. He loves it. So I am by myself now because Adam dropped off and Jeremy stepped away. So that's cool. So I've been reading some Star Wars books. I started The Krytos Trap yesterday. I am in chapter 13, I think it is. So moving along pretty quick with that one. The X-Wing series for me so far has been a little dull. I don't like a lot of action, which I've said in previous reviews, but so far with Krytos Trap, I'm enjoying it.
Here you go.
You've read all the X-Wing books, right?
I've read some of them.
Some of them?
I do. I've not read Mercy Kill. Because when we did the Sword of the Jedi reviews, when they got Wraith Squadron in there, like I didn't know most of the characters, but it didn't matter because it contradicted Mercy Kill.
Yeah.
Mercy Kill's like way after,
way late.
Books. Yeah, it's right. It's between Last Fate of the Jedi book and
Crucible. Yeah. So it's like almost the last EU book, right?
Yeah, it's Alston's last book. He died after writing it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Adam sent a voice message. I wonder if it's okay to listen to on here. Can't even hear it. Maybe I'm connected to a Bluetooth speaker somewhere. I am.
It's just playing on your TV in the living room.
It's like in the garage. I was working out in the garage earlier.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I have a speaker out there. So Adam's talking really loud in my garage right now. Let's see.
Hey dudes, the wind's pretty strong out here, and I think it's messing with my internet connection. So I'll just go ahead and sign off for now. But thanks for having me on, and you guys have a good night.
All right, so he's gone. Adam is out. All right. Thanks for joining, Adam. I mean, we're gonna probably wrap it up here in a minute, anyway.
Yeah.
So you think you got some stuff you got to do? I got stuff I got to do.
Yeah.
But oh, okay. The music for Dragon Age is like Lord of the Rings but darker. So that's good.
Yeah. I've never played a Dragon Age game.
Me neither.
I don't play a lot of games anymore.
It's hard to find the time.
Yeah.
Like I got one of those Nintendo Switch Lights for Christmas.
Yeah.
I played it like for like 2 weeks
and
then kind of just stopped.
We just got Gabby's Wii from her childhood. I need to get an HDMI converter for it so we can play some Wii bowling.
Wii bowling is fun. I enjoy that. Fine editions. Would you watch a holiday special edition? Maybe.
What would that entail? Would we get subtitles for the Wookiees? That's the
that'd be
only
good.
thing I really that would be the only reason I'd rewatch it.
I have the soundtrack somewhere.
What?
Yeah.
It's a soundtrack for the holiday special, not the Star Wars Christmas album.
Now I don't know.
Because there's a Star Wars Christmas album, which is
I'll have to find it, and
it's noteworthy because John Bon Jovi sings on it before Bon Jovi was a thing. Like he's like a teenager.
I'm gonna read the Clone Wars duology just so I can impress my crush. Well, good luck to you.
Why would that impress your crush? Is your crush
she likes
Taylor
it.
and Miller?
She likes it a lot, apparently.
Really?
Thanks for broadcasting my voice in your garage. Hey, thank you for providing it. Maybe getting them games.
I need to continue our Paper Movies reading.
Yeah, I got to pick up on Spider-Man.
It's up there behind me. That John Wick comic is the first thing I've read in 2 weeks.
It's healthy to step away from. That's good to do sometimes.
Yeah, I instead of like listening to audiobooks at work, I put on some Defunct Land TV, which is a YouTube channel where they talk about defunct like amusement park rides and children's shows and stuff, and do like these video essays. We watch. I got Gabby into watching some of the children's program ones. We watched the history of Between the Lions, the reading show for PBS. Bear in the Big Blue House. You know, like Dragon Tales, stuff
what
that
are these
you
for?
were too old for.
Okay, so you're just like revisiting your childhood in a way.
Yeah, but it explains how it's created and stuff, and how children's programs are ordered, because they'll like Zaboomafoo, where they really ordered only like a couple seasons of it, and they just repeated them over and over again in reruns. Talks about that, or this one, oh god, I get to talk about this story on here. So, you know about love boats, like at like amusement parks and stuff, where people go in the love tunnel and
things
like a
swan
happen.
Boat.
Yeah. So there was this one, and it was called the Old Mill, and it's in Pittsburgh, and it is notorious like since the 20s for that sort of thing going on. And so they rebranded it Garfield in like 2000. And so the guy at Defunctland, he sent out an email, and he like tweeted this email that you could tell your stories of what happened in there, because he specifically wanted to know how that happened, because there's all sorts of cameras and stuff. It's people have sent these graphic emails, but one that stuck out to me that he put in the video was that this guy and his friend, when they were kids, they like to take aerial dumps.
Oh gosh.
Which I guess means like they would like crap off of a bridge, on the trees, but they were in the Garfield ride. And his friend just drops trowel, and he craps over the side of the boat into the water.
Wow.
It's awful. And I'm reading this because like there's several emails that you just put in there and just blurred some things out, and I was just pausing the video and reading it, and I was like brushing my teeth, and I just couldn't stop laughing. It was so bad.
That is funny. That is awful. Small time. Yeah. Funny.
Yeah, Mad Machad. They did make a video about the Ghostbusters show.
The Ghostbusters show at Universal?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I've not watched it yet. They also did one on the old Ghostbusters before the movie. You know that weird slapstick show?
Yeah. Yeah. I've got issue 1 for that comic book.
They made it into a comic?
Oh, yeah, they've got a comic book. It was like the gorilla and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God, I don't get it.
Yeah, I never read it, but I've got it.
Show looks terrible.
The what? Oh, the show
show
looked terrible.
looked terrible.
I never saw it.
It's just a slapstick show.
I think there might have been an issue with that, like when Ghostbusters was trying to come up with their thing.
That's why the cartoon for the Ghostbusters movie is called
real Ghostbusters.
Because they made a cartoon.
Yeah.
To bank off of the Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah.
And then
in the real Ghostbusters, they made an episode or 2. I think it might have been a 2-parter where the real Ghostbusters, they are the real Ghostbusters. And they were making a movie about them, which is the movie Ghostbusters.
Yes.
So it they're supposed to be the real people and then there's like a movie being made about them, which is kind of funny.
Did it ever bother you in Ghostbusters 2 that they really ignore the real Ghostbusters cartoon?
I never thought about it. I had the two were separated in my head as a child. So I watched all the show. So
don't you own all the show on DVD?
No. I've got the first 5 seasons. I think there's 10 total. I need to get them all again. I need to get all of them.
That's wild. I didn't know it lasted that long.
Yeah. And each disc has got quite a few episodes. There's a lot of episodes. I need to get the whole series on Blu-ray. I think it's available now. Blu-ray, maybe. I think. I would like to get them.
I'm trying to think now because the only cartoon I can think of that went that long is Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles was awesome. I know that had a lot of issues. You could tell when they would hire good artists, and then a crappy one would come in.
Ran out of money.
Yeah,
especially at the end. It was the same thing happened with the 90s Spider-Man animated show, where they're reusing scenes from season 1.
Yeah. I remember in Turtles, there'd be a couple scenes where everybody has the same color bandana, they'd all be purple or blue or something.
Well, I mean, the original idea for the Turtles is they all had red bandanas.
Yeah.
I think was what it was. Well, the Turtles comics were black and white originally.
A lot more graphic too than what the cartoon ever did. So
yeah, I'm coming up. This reminds me before I have to head out here, that I'm starting a new thing on my channel called the Stupid Chainsaw Red Label. And that's where all the content warning reviews will go. I realized when I did the Rot review, it didn't feel right. Just releasing it as a regular review. Because the content's so graphic.
Yeah.
And uncomfortable. And I'd been thinking about this for a while. Because I was talking with the Garth Ennis Punisher stuff. I want to review that. Even this John Wick comic's pretty violent. I do plan to review that, and I was or something Matt Fraction's. I think it's Matt Fraction that did Sex Criminals. I wanna review that. That's a comedy comic, or Money Shot, another really a lot, or The Pro, which is a woman who gets superpowers, but rather than become a superhero, she remains being a prostitute. That's Garth Ennis again.
Wow.
Or The Boys, to talk about The Boys, but
this is that a Netflix show? No, or
it's an Amazon
show.
It's still on. It's apparently really good. I've not watched it because I want to read all of the comic first. I have all of them. I just haven't read a lot of them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm really getting excited about these Star Wars Expanded Universe book reviews. I've got some that I'm going to record whenever we get off here in a couple minutes. I'm going to record a couple and get those scheduled out. It's refreshing to jump away from the Clone Wars, like I told you at the beginning here, and dive back into the New Republic,
Mhm.
get a refresher on the books that I already did read, and then continue reading some that I missed before. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to do more Bible reviews because you keep mentioning that.
Yeah,
I need to.
quite a bit.
I've got one halfway written that I just need to finish it out and record it. But that's all I've got for tonight. Do you have anything else you want to add? Just
No.
okay. Guys, go
Hold
check
my
out Stupid
peace.
Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Look out for that red label.
Yeah.
Paper
Almost
paper
at
movies.
500 subscribers.
Oh wow. Okay.
They
Let's
got
share that.
498.
Wow. Right there.
Right.
If you guys aren't subscribed to Stupid Chainsaw Productions, go do it quick.
Thank you.
To 500.
Subscribe to the Geeks Attic.
Yeah. Yeah. You bums.
Get him making more Bible reviews.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to do that. Well, anyway, Jeremy, thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I guess everybody check us out next week or the week after. I can't remember. At the end of the month, where we go on stupid. No, we go to paper movies.
Yeah, we're not doing that
Paper
thing
movies.
anymore.
Yeah. So check you guys later.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.